I'd just like to show you a few formatting tips for creating a financial statement using Excel. Now, just understand that I'm using a Mac, and you will probably be using a PC unless you have your own Mac. So there might be some slight differences, but for the most part, the formatting in the PC and the Mac is similar. So I have a balance sheet for Meritus Massage. I have some assets listed on the left, some liabilities and equity on the right. I don't have the equity figure for Jones Capital. I'm going to figure that out using a formula, and I'm going to show you all the little formatting tips to make this financial statement presentable. So notice my three-part heading. You can resize a column automatically so the contents of the cells fit by hovering between the two columns that you want to resize. So I want to resize column A. I'm going to move my cursor in between columns A and B excuse me, until I get this black crosshair. And then when I see that, I'm going to double click quickly, and that automatically resizes this column. The next thing I'd like to do is center my heading across columns A through E. In order to do this, I'm going to use a cell or an icon that says Merge and Center. So click and hold cell A1 and drag it across to column E so that it's all highlighted. And then on your computer you should see a little Merge and Center option. On the Mac I have to hit the down arrow and choose Merge and Center, and you'll notice that what happens is that Meritus Massage will be centered across columns A through E. Okay, and then do that again for the name of the financial statement. So click and hold, drag across to E, choose Merge and Center. And the last one is the date. I don't like the format of this date, so I am going to choose Format Cells. It might be a little bit different on the PC. I will look for date, and I want the long version, and this is the version that I want. I want to see March 14th, 2001. That won't appear, but that's the format that the date would appear in, and watch what happens. Now I have the long professional version. Okay, so click out of that cell, click back in, then click and hold and drag across to column E and choose Merge and Center. Now my heading looks professional and it's centered across columns A through E. The next thing I'd like to do is insert some formulas so I can add my assets, my liabilities, and then figure out my capital. So let's start with total assets. When you enter a formula, it's always best to click the cell first where you'd like the formula to go. So I will click cell B14, and then I'm going to look for an icon that's called AutoSum. And on the PC, you will usually see this on the far right side. I will click AutoSum. And then what happens is sort of a neat thing. The computer is guessing what you'd like to add. And it's highlighting with this dotted line all of these asset values. If those are the cells that you'd like to add up, press enter. If not, you can click and hold and drag the cells that you'd like to add up, and that's what I'm going to do. So notice that the formula is adding up cells B6 all the way through to B11, so everything in between, B6, B7, B8, and this equal sign here tells you that this is a formula. That's how the computer knows that this is a formula. So if you have these highlighted, hit enter, and you should get 213,000. Let's apply that same step to total liabilities. So click the cell where you'd like to insert the formula, click your AutoSum icon, it will highlight or guess the three values that you want to add up, and if that's correct, hit enter. We can still use the AutoSum formula to perform subtraction. So now what I would like to do is figure out what the capital value should be. And I know that assets minus liabilities equals owner's equity. So owner's equity is assets minus liabilities. Let's plug that formula into the capital area. So click the capital cell at E12 and let's throw a formula in. Let's use AutoSum again. Okay, so what do I want to do? I just clicked AutoSum. I want to subtract 102,200 from 213,000. So I'm going to click 213,000, which is cell B14. On my keyboard, I'm going to hit the subtraction sign, and you'll find that near the 0 on your keyboard. What do I want to deduct? I want to deduct cell E9. So you should have B14 minus E9. If you have that, hit enter. And now we can figure out if this has worked correctly. So, but first what I'd like to do is I'd like to hit cell D14, total liabilities and owner's equity. I'm going to wrap this cell so that it looks a little bit better. And there you should see an option called wrap text. So click on cell D14, choose wrap text, and what you'll find is it fits the contents of that cell in the cell without changing the width. And that looks a little bit more presentable. Okay, let's add up total liabilities and owner's equity and see if it equals 213,000, because we know that the left side has to equal the right side. So click cell E14, look for your AutoSum icon, and click and hold the total liabilities figure and the capital figure. Hit enter. And now I know that the amount that I've inserted, or the formula that has been inserted for capital, is actually correct. So this side, the left side equals the right side. Now for just a few formatting tips. If I like, I can center my headings. And here's my center icon right here. If I like, I can throw in my single lines using the border tool. There should be a drop down arrow. So choose bottom border, and now I have a single line. I would also, if you remember, need a single line here. So choose bottom border. I need one here, bottom border. Now I need a double line to indicate a final total. So click your final total and choose bottom double border and apply the same bottom double border to the right hand side. Okay, it's looking pretty good. I have my assets listed in order of liquidity. I have my longest term assets listed first. The debts that are due first are presented first. I have totals. I'm missing dollar signs. And for this one, you can go right into accounting from the format option on your toolbar. And I'm going to click 0 decimal places. And now I have $1,000 with a dollar sign. So that's accounting, 0 decimal places. And you can do all of these at the same time on your PC if you hold down the control key. But I'm just going to do this one by one so that you have a chance to see that. And I forgot in this case to choose 0 decimal places. Now I have a comma in these 4 figures, and for presentation purposes it's nice if all the numbers are formatted in a similar way. So I'm going to throw the comma in by clicking on the comma icon, and I can also increase or decrease the decimal place automatically by using the increase number of decimal places icon. So I'll do that again over here. I'm going to highlight all these values, choose the comma with the icon, and then decrease the number of decimal places. And that is a pretty professional looking balance sheet. There you have it. Margin-centered heading. All the numbers or the values in the spreadsheet are formatted the same way, so 0 decimal places and a comma. The 4 corner figures have a dollar sign. And I just noticed a spelling mistake. I have my single lines and my double lines. And there you have it, a great looking professional balance sheet.